to do is within mentoring you can have peer mentoring and you can have adult mentoring. So we have taken up the responsibility to do adult to youth relationships because that's where we thought the ecosystem was not supplying it. Peer mentoring can also be very powerful. We've just not, because most of our youth do have good peer circles, but it's where they lack the adult relationships. So I would say that we match them to people who are slightly older.
Is mentoring voluntary?
Yes, mentoring is absolutely voluntary, and in fact I would like to see more women volunteer.
Why you don't get more women
We don't see as many women volunteer, and in fact conversely when we look at our mentee populations, we have more girl mentees than boys. So it indicates that actually there's so many of them in the pool who are so ambitious, so talented, so persevering, but then it looks like once women enter the workforce, maybe we start dwindling, the numbers start dwindling. So I would...
Don't you think housewives can
Yes,
get
absolutely.
In this?
It's not only professionals. We have a lot of women who've had careers, who've put it on hold, and so many different types.
How much time you want from each one of them per day?
Okay, actually per month, because we ask 2 to 3 meetings, it's anywhere between 8 to 10 hours.
That's all.
That's it. That's it. I mean, one meeting a week actually is enough to make yourself a steady presence in their life over a year, right? But we definitely asked for the year because we want this to be resembling a relationship. It's not transactional, you know, like I meet you for a short period and exchange something. This is a relationship like
Maybe
any other.
Awareness is not there.
Sure, but we have seen increasing traction. Recently, we had a Bangalore program where we opened a call for mentors in HP and we got 250 applications in less than a day.
My God.
But still, within those applications, the ratio of women to men is a little lower, is not equal. That's what I'm saying. But I think in the desire to mentor, we've seen very encouraging
Why
results.
do you think women are not coming forward? Is it that they're too occupied in their families?
Yeah,
Take care of them?
I guess they have already a mentoring responsibility of their children, of the household, and etc. and all.
Possibly.
Maybe that's
right. And possibly, I'm trying to infer if maybe in the population of women in the workforce as well, we're contending with fewer women who reach the middle level, or
maybe that.
Possibly.
But I think after listening to this program, I think the kind of, you said 8.5 hours per month.
Yes.
That's nothing.
Absolutely.
8.5 days or 8.5 hours?
8.5 hours per month, but definitely over a year. We don't want this to be like a quick...
Then I'm sure you get, if
I
people
hope
visit
so.
this program, I'm sure they will try
I hope
to do
so.
that. Funny, where does Red Buzz go from here?
Yeah, I think the whole bus industry is going through a big change across the country. Because with increased migration, with increased economy, there is increased migration. The cities are becoming larger and etc. That increases the need for transportation. And in India, the 3 modes of transportation, which is air, rail, and road, out of the 3 modes of transportation, government has invested only in the road transportation. We have 6-lane highways almost everywhere and etc. Likewise, we do not have bullet trains, nor we have airports almost across the country. Right. So that leaves only road as the possible infrastructure which will cater to this increased migration and the travel needs. And we are right bang on that. So we believe that road transportation will go through a big change, and we'll play a big role in that. So I think the next few years we will continue to work within this space and get a larger market share in this business.
Funny. You moved from comfortable jobs to start your own business.
Yeah.
Any regrets?
Not at all. Not at all. There are no regrets at all.
Absolutely no regrets.
Absolutely no. Thankfully for us, it's been doing well, right? So there is no scope, or there is no thought of regrets. Yeah.
Absolutely no. Huh?
Yeah.
What is your advice to bright youths who plan to do something that you did? Start your own business.
Sure. So one advice is that I would advise them to work for a couple of years before they embark on this journey. Because those 2 years of exposure, being on the other side of the table as an employee, would expose people to various things. They'll get a good understanding of the relationship between a supervisor-supervisee, the appraisal processes, the pay slip, what are the emotional, psychological feelings of being an employee, how does he look at the organization, what are the needs of an employee, expectations from organizations. So he'll get exposed, practical exposure to all these things, and once he's on the other side of the table, hopefully he does a lot of justice to all those things. So I'm a little against people starting right off the college. Many time kind of people come to me or looking at me, they believe that they can be a young entrepreneur, but I kind of disappoint them saying that go work for 2 years before you become an entrepreneur, because I strongly believe that experience is very valuable. Also because the mortality rate, I mean, would be much higher if you are not experienced and attempt to do a startup, and that has a very big impact on the future generations who want to be entrepreneurs. Imagine out of the 100 people who attempted to be entrepreneurs, if 85 of them die down because of inexperience, not because of the opportunity and etc. and all, for the next generation it is 85 who have died, right? Versus all well-equipped people get into it and the mortality rate is only 60%. That's an encouragement for the next generation. So what they're doing is not only for themselves, I think it is also to the larger society and the spirit of entrepreneurship in the country.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's great. Arundhati,
Yes.
how will your role as how will your role at Mentor Together
Right.
Or as a mentor
Right.
help in your role as a global shaper?
I think I've learned so much about the relational process of how to build relationships with people, and I think I've understood the power of networks as well as trying to build networks across the city between different groups of youth and adults. I think it'll really help me hopefully leverage this network, because there's a lot it offers to us, but it's not sitting there at a platter, like, unless we make some use of it, you know, unless we make the right types of connections. I would also like to evangelize the concept of mentoring a lot, but in actually all of our sectors, right, we don't really mentor people unless necessary, and a lot of times our mentoring experiences are so random and so by chance, you know, I met someone and he turned out to be a good mentor. I think we should take, absolutely, it's our duty and responsibility once we have experiences to really invest in younger people, not for any other reason other than just furthering their potential. So I hope I can use the this network and this community to further and evangelize the concept of mentoring.
That's good.